everyone. This is Whitney Dowds from UMass Sports. Again, here with Tyler Ferdinand after his team's Game 2 victory and a pretty epic one as well, from what I've heard. So, again, welcome to the channel, Tyler.
Thank you for having me.
All right, let's get right to the action because this obviously was a very interesting game. So you entered the bottom of the seventh down 2-0, and the series now, or at that point, being 3 outs away from being tied. So obviously your team rallied and came back and scored 3 runs to walk off. So walk us through that inning because obviously a lot of the people watching this weren't there or maybe did not know. And so, yeah, just walk us through exactly what happened because obviously that's a pretty dramatic turn for a game to go from 2-0 to all of a sudden you winning 3-2
Right.
and putting yourself 1 win away from a championship.
I think it was 2-1. I think we scratched off in the bottom of the sixth. It was either the fifth or the sixth we scratched one. We hadn't scored one going into the fifth, I believe it was. And, we'd been hitting the ball really hard. It's just, it was baseball going right at everybody. And then in the bottom of the seventh, Mike Nell came up and hit a ball that a lot of us thought were gone. Didn't quite make it out, but, started off with a double. And we were able to kind of use a pinch runner, use some speed, stole a base at third, got somebody to walk. We got a sacrifice fly, which scored a run in. And then, we were just trying to be as aggressive at the plate and aggressive on the base pass as much as possible. With 2 outs, we had the winning run at third. So just putting the ball in play, not striking out, making them have to make a play was huge. And then Pat Yee hit I think it was a 3-2 count. And he hit a line drive right back up the middle that ended up getting us the victory in game 2.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in the last interview we did, you talked about Pat Yee being someone to watch out for and that he would have a big hit in the series and is somebody that maybe is not talked about a lot. And there he is again, right in the middle of the action.
Yeah, 100%.
But also Tom Linane, I think, if I'm saying his name correctly.
Yep.
Yeah, Tom Linane was the only hitter, I think, in your lineup with 2 hits. And he also, I believe, drove in a run as well. So talk about his contribution that night as well. And obviously, like I said, you guys were hitting balls right at people, and it wasn't really falling until the bottom of the seventh. So,
right.
How big has he been to your postseason success?
Tommy's huge. Tommy, in my eyes and a lot of other people's eyes, is the best player in this league. He's the best hitter. He makes every play defensively that he needs to. He's just a great baseball player. And I remember back, I think I was 17 years old. He was 18. It was when this league still had a draft. Our team wasn't that great, so we had the first pick in the draft. And sure enough, he was at the tryout, and we were able to grab him. And I can't imagine our team without him. So it's been 10 years of us playing together, and we've become like a family and everything. So he's been extremely, one of those guys that just we can lean on every single night, knowing that he's going to at least come up with a hit or two in clutch spots, and he's going to make every play at shortstop. So we have he's our number 3 hitter every time, no matter who's there in the lineup. He knows he's hitting 3 and he's playing shortstop. So he's been, kind of just someone we can just put there and we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, fun fact. I mean, you and him are tied for the most RBIs on the team during the postseason. So obviously, without him, I mean, who knows where you guys would be. Right. And so, kind of having that combination. I think you're both at the top of the lineup, if I'm correct, right? So.
Yep, I'm usually batting 1 or 2, or sometimes, depending on if we have a lot of guys there in a matchup, I'll go to 6 or 7. But usually, we're kind of right up close to each other.
Yeah, putting both of you at the top of the lineup like that, how much pressure does that put on the opposing pitching staff? Because obviously you guys both are big RBI guys, but you're pretty fast too. So what kind of pressure does that put on any line or any pitching staff? And then, if it's a high scoring game and an opposing lineup too.
Right. Yeah. So my thing is, I got to get on any way possible, because for me, I can easily turn a single into a double. I can turn a walk into a double by stealing a base, getting in scoring position. And then just making sure I'm on second base every time Tommy gets up, because I know he's going to hit something hard. He's going to put something in the gap. Even if he flares a little single to the outfield, I'm going to score. So just getting started early in games, trying to get on in that first inning, that top half or bottom half, whatever it is, just so we can, get a cushion, get a run, and then let our pitchers kind of just flow from there.
Hmm. Well, this is obviously a little bit of a different game than you guys have normally had during the postseason, because you've had a lot of high scoring games. So what does that say about your team that, regardless of what type of game that comes about, you guys are ready, and, it can obviously turn in a flash, because again, you guys were couldn't score for most of the game, but then all of a sudden, boom, right when you guys needed to, your lineup came through and delivered one of the biggest wins of the year.
Right. Yeah. I think it's just for us is what makes us so dangerous. It could be anybody. It could be Tommy. It could be myself. But it could also be someone like Nell, who's batting the 6th hole, or Yi, who's batting in the 10 hole, who at any given point somebody can come up with a big hit, and it doesn't have to be one of the guys in the top of the lineup. It can very well be those guys from 6 to 10. I think that's what makes us so dangerous, is because we have a lot of guys that can come through. And it really doesn't have to be just the guys at the top of the line.
Yeah, I mean, versatility is huge. The best teams in any sport, really, versatility is important. So having that kind of, having everybody be able to contribute at any time can't be understated enough, or can't be stated enough.
Right. And that's what we've, tried to lock in and buy into the last couple of years, is getting enough guys where guys know their role. They might not play every day, but they know we're going to put them in a role to succeed, and just embrace their role. And we have a great group of guys that don't have egos. They want to win more than they want to play. So that's been extremely easy for me, to kind of handle, because I don't have to worry about any egos on the bench or anything. And then just being around a good group of guys that want to win baseball. So.
Well, moving on to your pitching in this game too, Christian. I mean, he's been. I think we talked about him in the last series with the Havoc too. He had another great outing, another complete game for you guys, and 6 more strikeouts. How important was he again to your efforts to obviously now put your team in a position to win a championship?
Yeah, he was huge. I mean, they scored 2 quick ones early, and we really weren't stringing anything together. And he was huge. I think after the 4th inning, he didn't allow a runner past first base. So coming in and knowing that we don't have any pressure where we got to get too many runs, rest, just kind of chip away, because he kind of got into that zone where he was locked in. And we kind of knew all we had to do is scratch across 2 or 3 runs, and we were going to be in the ball game. We were going to be able to win. But yeah, he's just a grinder. He even wants me to have him pitch again on Wednesday. So he's a guy who wants the ball, and we love having him. So
who are you guys putting on in game 3?
we're gonna go with Matos. Yeah, we're
Okay.
gonna go
All
with
right.
Matos. He hasn't
Perfect.
thrown yet this series, so.
Okay, yeah, he was huge in the last series, though. Obviously.
Yep, he had
putting you guys in
two
position.
wins for us.
All right, yeah. So what? Before we get to him, was there any particular pitch that was working for Dion? Because I think we've talked about in the past about certain pitches, but was there something that was really working for him? That was, especially after allowing those couple early runs, that kind of kept obviously the Giants in check.
Yeah, they had a lot of righties. So he's a lefty, so he was throwing a lot of those backdoor curveballs where they were starting off the plate and then catching the corner. Then with 2 strikes, it looked like his changeup was really working, and guys were getting fooled. They thought it was a fastball, and it just bites down into the ground. We were able to get a lot of swing and misses, a lot of weak contact. So yeah, he was just really rolling with his off speed, and then mixing in his fastballs whenever he had to.
Who is pitching for game 4? And why do you have so much confidence in them being able to close out the series?
Yeah, so we're going with Johnny Matos. He closed out the Havoc with us for game 4 in the semifinals, and he asked for the ball. It was kind of personal for him, so we let him go do it. He got the job done, and then so I can't see why I would not give him the ball in this big spot. The pressure's not on us; it's all on them. They have to come out and they have to win 3 straight. We have to win 1. So I think giving him the ball allows us to, if some things do go south, we can roll them back out for a game 5. Like I said, we were kind of in the same situation our last series where the first game we got shut out. The second game we barely scratched across 4 runs, and then game 3 we exploded for 10 runs. So we're just staying with our process, staying with our approaches, and we're just gonna let as we say, the baseball gods do its work. As long as we're putting balls in play and we're running 110%, good things are gonna happen for us.
So who are you expecting to be that kind of unsung hero? Because closeout games sometimes you tend to have that too.
Right. Definitely unsung hero. I mean, it's not for us, but the way things are going right now, might be a little unsung hero. I'd say Derek Pizarro. We all know he's a stud. He just started off a little slow in the playoffs. And I think tomorrow he's going to come through in a big way, whether it's with his bat, holding runners on behind the plate, throwing guys out. And I expect him to do a lot of big things out of the 2 spot at the plate as well. Championship teams find ways to win games they're really not supposed to or had no business winning. And Sunday we had no business winning the game. The 7th inning we somehow pulled it off. But it's just the ability to just grind, just no matter what's things are going wrong, things are going right, having the same mentality and just going after it. And I think we've been here before. So I think that's a big advantage for us, knowing what it takes. And I think we'll be able to get it done tomorrow.